Hey, the essay you're about to engage with is just one part of four. If you haven't started already, if you randomly clicked here through a YouTube rabbit hole, click the introduction. That will explain what's going on and give you a far better basis before we dive into these more deep topics. Now, if you could, and you're here otherwise, you've already listened to the introduction, click the link in the description below, which will take you to my website, which will allow you to listen as well as read along. These topics are not just quick fixes. They require your full body listening, okay? So that's why I encourage this dual sensory modality, both seeing and hearing simultaneously. After you've watched the essay, please let me know what you thought, like what clicked and what was confusing. This helps me become a better writer, me be a better teacher, as I try to guide you through some of these more esoteric domains. Thank you for your presence. Enjoy the essay. We'll talk soon. Hypothesis 1. At bottom, suffering is identification with desire and is caused by attaching to the idea that reality should be different from how it actually is. An example, you really want to be eating a scone at your favorite coffee shop, but instead you're in an ill-lit, tiny closet trying to follow your breath. Suffering. You desperately want this old Indian dude to end his off-pitch foreign chanting and singing, "For the love of God, please stop," but you can't mute the speaker. Suffering. In either case, your frustration, i.e. suffering, stems from a mismatch between fantasy and reality. And that mismatch creates a desire. Simple, right? Hypothesis 2. Desire can be broken into two categories: craving and aversion, likes and dislikes in a way. Either you want reality to include something you believe it lacks, i.e. scones, or you want reality not to include something you believe it already has. In this case, singing in foreign languages. Again, simple. Now, every experience of suffering includes both craving and aversion. Every craving for a scone hides an aversion towards not having it. Any aversion towards an old Indian dude singing in Pali implies a craving for either silence or a different sound. A little less obvious, but still simple. These are still only surface level truths though, so let's dig deeper. You say you believe you want a scone, but really you want the sensations that arise from eating the scone. The absence of a scone doesn't cause suffering. It's merely a thought, more symbolic than literal. That is, the scone is actually a psychological stand-in for something more physiological. Okay, let's say that again. You don't really want the scone. You want the rush you get in your body from smelling, tasting, and ingesting the scone. You don't really want the old Indian dude to stop chanting. You want the feeling of restlessness in your chest to go away. Now, this can seem like an arbitrary and unimportant distinction at first. I certainly used to think so, but now I'm convinced that it's not. In fact, I'm convinced that this understanding, once fully embraced, changes the context of all human experience. It adds a new dimension to every single preference we have, every single decision we make, and every single interaction we partake in. Oh, and it provides a loophole out of suffering. More on that later. Okay, hypothesis number 3. All of these mental phenomena, all thoughts, eventually manifest as physical sensations on the body. Every single one of them. Even ones that happen subconsciously, like a light clenching in the jaw from seeing the today's to-do list. A subtle flicker of the gut from trying to decide which meal to order at a restaurant. The warm and fuzzies from a brief thought of your lover's smile. mild heat in your body from accidentally overhearing an opinion you disagree with. For better or worse, every word or image perceived by the mind, favorable or unfavorable, consequential or inconsequential, is both contextualized by an upstream sensation, i.e., body to brain, and eventually results in downstream sensations, i.e., brain to body. An example of all of this, to make it clear. Let's say you claim to want the newest Tesla car model. Why? A whole host of reasons. Maybe you want to live carbon neutral. Maybe you want your road trips to be safe and automated. Maybe it's the status symbol of owning a luxury car. Perhaps you think the design is sexy. An infinite list of possible stories could be generated here, but none of them fundamentally answer the question. Desiring carbon neutrality, a smooth journey, heightened status, and beauty are only apparent truths. The real reason is in your body. You are craving pleasant sensations from, say, high morals, boosted security, improved reputation, and sleek designs, and you're averse to the unpleasant ones, often coming from, hypocrisy, danger, ill repute, and asymmetry. Another quick example. Let's say you desperately want to get out from under the crushing thumb of the system. Why? Well, isn't it obvious? They discriminate against you and your people. They favor the other side. They don't have your best interests at heart. These are just beliefs, though, nothing more than words on a page and thoughts in a mind. Instead, by going deeper and paying close attention to what's happening in the body as these ideas come online, it would be discovered that thoughts of inequality, lack, and division tend to create unpleasant sensations, and thoughts of fairness, abundance, and unity tend to create pleasant ones. Still not convinced? Stop reading for a moment and go through literally any reason you've done anything this week, or in your life for that matter. Why did you drink water, eat, or sleep? Why did you exercise, or not exercise, or flush the toilet, or stop the microwave 1 second before the beeper went off? Why did you start engaging with this essay? So here's hypothesis 4. You tell yourself that you want X or Y when what you really want are the sensations you think will arise from having or not having X or Y. In fact, if we follow any explanation rabbit hole far enough, we will always end with this as an actions motivator. We wanted it to eventually either bring or take away some kind of pleasant or unpleasant sensation within us. Envy, revenge, control, uncertainty, pride, belonging, autonomy, curiosity, empowerment, eating fast food, creating something new, getting a degree, scrolling and posting on social media, making more money, getting married and having kids, investing in the future, asking for a hand job, going for gold at the Olympics. All desires are rooted in the phenomenology of sensation. Sensation, sensation, sensation. And why do you want pleasant sensations? Or why don't you want unpleasant ones? And why do certain stimuli generate pleasant feelings, whereas others trigger unpleasant ones? This is where things start getting good. We could probably tell a story of psychological conditioning. In the case of Tesla, say, maybe your desire was subconsciously caused by their clever marketing campaigns. Or maybe it was because of an article you read about the existential threat of climate change. Or maybe it has to do with your culture's values. Shoot, maybe Elon Musk paired up with Bill Gates to implant a mind control chip in your body via the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine. Then again, perhaps it's more accurate to tell the story through the lens of evolution by natural selection. More carbon emissions means more environmental catastrophes, means increases the likelihood of your death, means stops the spread of your genes, means, no good, don't want to do it. Higher perceived status, on the other hand, from cruising in an expensive electric vehicle, signals greater fitness to potential mates, which then yields more opportunities to copulate, which then means more offspring to continue your DNA's winding trajectory, means incredible. That's a go. Regardless of the real reasons, be they genetic, mimetic, alien, or sorcery, knowing them doesn't actually help you live a happier life, let alone remove any sort of existential dread about your place in the cosmos. After all, explanations are just thoughts, more stories that bring about yet another flurry of bodily sensations. And that leads us to hypothesis number 5. You have no idea why you want the things you want or don't want the things you don't want. You have no real idea why police brutality or the biased media landscape causes your pelvic floor to clench up, for example, or why specific angles of metal and sheens of paint on a vehicle bring a warm hum to your forehead. All you have are the stories you tell yourself about why you think you want the sensations. Whether it's neo-Darwinism or God's will, the ground truth for feelings and desires are unknown. It just is. Sensations simply happen at the time and place that they happen. They're merely the most recent expression of a complex and unfolding universe. And what are sensations exactly? Stay with me here. Objectively, sensations are very likely the transfer of action potentials within your nervous system, or maybe the byproduct of cellular activity. And sure, this explanation could be helpful for developing new medicines and technologies, but again, it's not actually helpful when getting at the heart of suffering, a subjective phenomenon. Instead, we need to know what sensations are like experientially, from your first-person point of view. Try to feel the inside of your right hand right now. Without labeling the experience, close your eyes, place your attention on the center of your palm, and just feel what there is to feel there. How would you describe this part of your body as an observer? Buzzing, maybe? Humming? A feeling of aliveness? Agreed. Sensations from the first-person point of view are just a series of vibratory patterns. Double-check that theory for yourself. Bring attention elsewhere, anywhere. Maybe your heart area. Close your eyes and tune in. What do you feel? Maybe fluttering. Anger? Love? Fear? Calm? Not quite sure? Any honest answer is correct, but try to go deeper. Those are just words. What is the feeling of love or calm or fear like? The best answer that I've found, at least, is vibration. Or, and this is hypothesis number 6, sensations seem to have some sort of frequency, i.e. speed, amplitude, i.e. strength, and direction to them. And what is vibration scientifically? It's a moving wave, one with a crest and a valley, one with a high point and a low point, one with ups and one with downs. Both physicists and yogis agree that the whole universe is just a series of these shifting energetic frequencies. Vibration happens everywhere, all the time, at all scales. Vibration happens on a quantum and atomic level. Light and electrons and their corresponding electric and magnetic fields that make up this very screen you're staring at. It happens on a mechanical level with the changing of air pressures that make up your favorite song or this audio. It happens on a meteorological level in the eye and perimeter of a hurricane. It happens on a cosmic level with the positional fluctuations of the Milky Way as we all rocket through the infinite void together. It even happens on a mental level, as is shown in an fMRI when patients or research participants are asked to think. Naturally, then, vibration happens throughout the entire physical body, too. Sensations, another word for vibration, occur continuously on all parts of your body, whether you are consciously aware of them or not. Big toe, teeth, spleen, spinal cord, digestive juices. All of you is vibrating right now. Can you feel that? So it might now make sense why desire for the arrival or cessation of a sensation will backfire. Because the nature of a wave is to rise and fall, a vibratory peak must come with a vibratory trough. Everything you find pleasurable will eventually end, no matter how high you get, or how well crypto is doing, or how full body an orgasm becomes, or how sublime a vision, or how optimistically think, or how magnanimous your character. It won't last. All of it will decay and implode and be dismantled, just like the rest of the universe. Sure, this fact also technically means that all of life's unpleasantries will end too, but I don't think that fact makes anyone feel better about their short and pointless existence.